And hello everybody, welcome back to the Refresh Point. My name is Ben, and as always, I'm joined by my constant co-host, Steve. Steve, how's it going?
We're doing good. We're enjoying the last little bit of very slight relaxation / preparation before we get into the prime competitive season for Weiss.
You've been relaxing?
A little bit, yeah.
I've Now, see, that's the funny thing. I feel like this time there wasn't as much time to relax.
No.
As much.
No.
If you were going to tournaments.
Yeah.
Because, as far as I recall, I went to BSF Duluth, and then 2 weeks later, there was BSF Philly, which we just got back from. Lovely tournament. Great to see everybody. I had about 15 other names thrown at me. Shout out to all of you. It was great to meet every single one of you. You'll find me when you find me, man. It'll be good to see you again. And I will do my level best to remember the name again. There's another Ben that was hanging out with Matthew. I don't think I caught the name of their teammate. They got a little cringed on. I met up with my boy that I think he plays in Las Vegas or something, or he's been working. And because he'd been working, because he used to play a good amount of slime and was like trying to at BCS Cali, he was trying to make mask standby slime still work, which is like not the worst thing in the universe. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I've been super grinding, and so I took Azure Lane to the tournament because, just A bar Azure Lane, we just cats. The gameplay is very straightforward, and then you don't have to cook too hard, and then you just kind of, yeah. And he lost to, Persona 5 in the tournament, and, yeah. Sometimes unlucky.
Persona what?
5.
5?
I double lost to Persona 3.
Yeah, Persona 3 is like a believable way to lose a Weiss Schwarz game.
You don't gotta play my boy like that.
Persona 5? Fuck is this guy running? You'll never see it coming. Anyway.
You don't gotta play my boy like that.
Yeah, it's
obviously
unlucky.
I picked up 2 teammates from Nova, not Nova TCG, North Virginia. I've been told is the used for that moniker.
Got
up
it.
North.
Yeah,
Nova.
well. That's...
And shout outs to Joker and wow, I am waking up. Shout outs to Joke. I'm trying to remember the screen name because I don't want to just outright use an IRL name if I have a screen name to be trying to use. But wait, her name is also Nova. That's why I played myself. I was like, oh, their name is also Nova. All right, so shout outs to Nova from Nova and also Joker.
Nice.
Nova played Love Life Sunshine, got a win on the board in round 1 and I believe round 3, and then she got the Bang Dream random meta gauntlet, man. Like, I think she had like 3 Bang Dreams even like in the X1 X2 bracket, and just like Licorico and just some of the most nasty stuff was going on over there. I was like, that's rough. And on the other side, Joker was playing Mume Aqua, which I don't feel bad about discussing on the podcast because I told him to his face how I felt about that general idea, which is just like, why Mume, man? But he basically had the opposite trajectory in that he had the poor start into the strong finish.
Yeah.
So it was like X3 into 3-3. And then I played Slime, and I just fucking farmed people for like 5 out of the 6 rounds, and then in the P3 matchup, yeah, I had like a pretty poor start. He had a pretty good start, so it was a pretty even game. And whenever I anti-changed them, I haven't even said the intro. It's okay. We're chatting about it now. Whatever, it's fine. I didn't know that this could be possible, but he had never seen the anti-early counter in his life. And he was like, I just don't think that many sets have it, dude. And I'm just like, this feels... I know that this is wrong, but you've had a pretty rough day, and my team had just won, like, 10 minutes before we double lost. And so we just ended up playing it out, and he was like, yeah, I just had never seen it before. Because, like, immediately called Judge whenever the attack fizzled. And I was like, you've never been hit with anti-early counter as Persona 3? That's crazy.
What? I think this kind of brings into focus the variance between Weiss communities and really card game communities with niche card games in terms of size and complexity. So there are a lot of Weiss players playing some really high level Weiss, and then there's going to be huge chunks of America and other countries where there's just not a lot of people playing Weiss and not a lot of like diversity in build or variance. So I could envision it where if this is like your first or second or third big tournament, that it's possible you've never run into this mechanic before, because to be fair, it's not super popular in the meta right now to be running it. And
for sure,
just because you are running it doesn't mean you have it. So I could see it, but man, the pain of that anti-change has got to be the worst pain that man has felt in ever playing Weiss. Where it stings so bad that you just want to throw like the whole game away.
He was yeah, I'll get into it more later. That was, we're gonna get into BSF Philly. The BCS season is coming immediately afterwards, because that was the tangent into this, is that I feel like there has been no break because I got back from Philly, and BCS Chicago or Rosemont is in another 2 weeks.
Yeah,
my flight budget is getting cooked.
Yeah, if your Summerfest event was late in the season, you're gonna feel some roughness from how close the events are together.
Yeah, we've got some cool sets coming off in the horizon, poised to enter the meta with varying levels of splash after you shuffle your decks. Tap or cut. We'll get right into the refresh point with some breaking news. BSF Philly happened. Woo! Congrats to the Ohio lads for winning Top Golf over Top Cut.
Yep.
Yippee.
These are the
two double Ohio with single Virginia player with Bang Dream, Hololive.
No, it's Shauna.
Or no, Shauna.
Or was it Shauna?
No, dude. You're looking at the wrong
Hololive and Bochi.
Sorry, Bochi.
Yeah.
Is Bang Dream, Bochi, and Hololive. Good old Chloe Murray. Nothing beats that. I saw that guy in the finals draw like the Chloe climax like 3 or 4 turns in a row after double blocking, triple blocking. I'm just like, he's that guy.
He's fucking him.
Sometimes it's your day.
Yeah, so it's Marine, Other Marine, and Bang Dream. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. This guy playing Bang Dream, this is the most aggressive degen build of this set I've seen in a while.
How do you mean?
He literally has no sculpting at 0, like none, and then he's running 1 bunts for luck with no real way to get it.
Are you sure that's the level? That's the winning one? Can I see that one?
Sure.
Was it really buff? Oh, no, it was. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, both this and the second place player, they only run 1 bunts for luck.
I don't know how you ever get it. Like, what? How?
You just try it.
No,
I played some games with the second place
try.
player. I played some games with the second place player after the tournament. You know what he did for the 3 games that we played? Turn 1 or turn 2, he just flips the buns that's in his hand in my face. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
And also, you don't need sculpting, Steve. You just lock and
Just
you Aqua Ricky.
just draw 25 cards.
You just draw 6 million cards and you get it. That's
Okay,
how.
I got you.
That's how it works.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works.
That's not how it works for me. But I'm glad it works that way for someone.
Hey, second place team from Cali, helmed by Carter. He's been on the show before. Carter on the finishless Shauna, just heal them to death. Our classic JP inspired guy, my goat. He literally went full undefeated until the finals, where he drew every single climax and died on the spot. It's the saddest way to go.
That feels like the way that this deck dies a lot, because if you don't have choice, man, you have just your deck speed goes to zero.
It's double combo. It's zero combo, level 1 combo, no finisher.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you draw any climax, the idea is that you should be able to filter to some way that will plus and deck mill, because they both mill.
Right.
Yes.
But also...
Right. But if you draw every single climax in your deck and don't block...
I also don't consider cigarettes to be sufficient for milling tools, but... yeah.
It'll supplement, right?
A little bit. Yeah,
there's other milling, so...
What I love
it'll all
about this
set up.
deck is that it has 4 of nearly every card, so this has the spiciness of vanilla ice cream, like there's no tech, there's no, like, we're not subtle in any way. It's just 4s, everything 4s, and good fucking luck. Like, it's just 4s all the way across the board.
Yeah.
Love it.
You just always draw
Peak consistency.
what you want.
Just try not to draw all your climaxes, and then if you do, you just lose. But
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, somehow in the finals in the Bang Dream mirror between, God bless, I'm pretty sure it would have been Tyler playing Bang Dream versus Aiden. Aiden was at level 2 for 2-0, specifically 2-0 for 4 turns. And then Tyler still almost won after being 3-6 at one point.
Nice.
He was at 3-6 like halfway through the 4 turns that Aiden was at 2-0.
That's crazy work.
Just one of the most insane games that like I saw like in my peripheral, because I was like recording like commentary to do a write-up, which I'm still working on, and like watching the Hololive player fight the Nikkei player. The Nikkei player is like having not a great time, and the Hololive player is just having the best time of his entire life. And I'm just like, it's cooked.
Yeah, pretty much. It feels like all 3 of these Bang Dream decks in the top 3 were built by the same person. They all have like a very, very similar level 0 shell, followed by like very slight differences in other,
third place
other
there
numbers.
is Jason Malik as well.
Yeah, and so he has 2 buns for luck, which is like the most sane, like
the most sane human being way to play it.
But I mean, is this like a, I don't know, man, like 4 aqua just sounds disgusting.
I mean, if you don't run the Mocha Ricky.
I guess like if you run 4 of everything, then I mean, it doesn't matter what you get, it eventually turns into something.
Yes,
but
that is the idea.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately, he also had like a nothing hand into the Hololive player in semis.
Yeah.
Which ended up to his finishing turn of that game. His like, well, he didn't really have anything, because he's like finishing off his brainstorms. He's like taking the damage. Hagen just kind of like has all of the stuff going for him as the Hololive player. He almost missed the resonate, and then he helmeted for the helmet that searches the deck for the Laplace to resonate the Chloe with, and then it just kind of all fell into place after that. Just like perfect blocks everywhere, everything's going well, and like the final turn for the Bang Dream player is just like, I have single Dolores, single A9, and a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't...
Disgusting.
He didn't have anything in his hand. It was cooked.
I think that I think that when you opt into these type of builds that have very poor sculpting but very high like hand quantity possibilities, there's gonna be some brick off to this thing where it's just like Aqua reveals 2 climaxes, you have no hand for the rest of the game. Like it's incredibly gambly to just have no way to like actually like select a card that you want outside of brainstorming. That feels really risky. So I definitely, I'm sure it's fine most of the time, like probably 80-90% of the time it just works, but man, when it doesn't, it's gonna feel disgusting. So congrats to everybody that got top 3. I will say the distribution of the meta looks pretty much exactly as I thought it might. So we have 15% Bang Dream and then 10% Hololive, and then the only other named sets that have enough percentage to qualify in this graph are Nikkei, Bochi, and Aobuda, Rascal. So that's gonna be, yeah, that's not gonna be a strange way to see the meta distributed going forward.
It's gonna be worse because once you hit singles, now everybody that said, okay, you are on Bang Dream duty,
right,
and so I won't play it,
right,
so I have to play something else,
right,
or you're on Nikkei duty, or something, will now say, well, now I can play Bang Dream or Nikkei.
I just don't envision. I kind of, I don't know. Nikkei is a tricky deck to bandwagon because it's a little bit challenging to pilot. It has some.
You can't turn an apple over in your head.
I honestly, I've memed on this. I've memed, yeah. I've memed on this deck.
You feel like it's not.
Yeah, I've memed on this deck for weeks, calling it a do nothing deck, and I need to clarify what I mean by that. I mean that it is just regular vanillas and try to win off of it. Not that there are no decision points. Like the end game is just like vanillas and hoping and tap counters. Like that's it does nothing in the sense that like it's just vanillas. It's vanillas and then like deck fixing. So
yes.
But yeah, it's
probably the best at vanillas and like
in the sense of in the like the very classic Japanese standby do nothing decks that are just like vanillas and healing. This is one of the better like configurations of it, just because you have a free tap counter, but it is a bit challenging to pilot, and if you're bad at it, you will quickly find yourself with no hand and like a very questionable game state. So one of the friends of the podcast, obviously, PGH Weiss Schwarz, Beanwolf put out a article about Nikkei, and it's very comprehensive. If you're interested in actually trying to run Nikkei, he really digs deep into how to play that deck and why it runs what it runs. So that can be found on his blog, which we can link in the description on YouTube and on Spotify.
Yeah, he's got the Apple Rotation Masterclass.
Yeah, so if you ever hear anybody talking about rotating the Apple, that's what they're talking about. And in it, he kind of explains why the deck is difficult to pilot, and I mostly agree. It can hit game states where it's absolutely cruising, but it doesn't typically get there until level 2, and every second of getting there up until then is pretty challenging to figure out. So I think that if people do try to bandwagon Nikkei, it'll be similar to when other decks were bandwagon in the past that were kind of challenging to run. And people will drop them because they're like Overlord. It's like the same reason Overlord wasn't bandwagon, because it was like people picked it up, played 10 games with it, lost them all, and then were like, this deck sucks, and then threw it away. Meanwhile, like Roy and Ken are just literally undefeated playing Overlord. So it can be done. It's just really hard.
Yeah. Perry, so the 4th place team in that top cut was Noble Peridot, Namian, who were 2 also like VTubers, and Donard Binks, who's I believe a shop owner of Silk Road Gaming up in New York.
Okay.
They did pretty well. Obviously, the Kenshin player ended up carrying that team through Swiss.
Which is outrageous.
What do you mean? You don't like Maya at home?
It's fine. It's
It just
completely
works.
fine. Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yep.
Easy. And I had the pleasure of facing Perry, playing the Overlord list with Eno in the forefront in the single elim tournament afterwards, and man, good old Overlord, nothing beats that.
If things are going,
still going.
Yeah. If things are going here's the thing.
I tried my damnedest to be like, maybe I can get the peak shuffle back, and she can just mill out enough of the whole deck. Oh, that's 4 events. Oh, we're still going. I'm just sitting here like, yep, I'm getting overlorded.
Yeah. The sinking feeling that happens when you're facing that deck and they don't level up, like they do their level 2 turn and then you can't get them to level up, is the worst feeling. There's nothing worse in the game than that feeling that you get when you're facing a deck that's really powerful at level 2. Nikkei gives you this feeling too, where it's like they start doing the thing and then you can't level them, and then they heal down, and then you can't level them, and then they heal down, and the game's just getting worse by the second, and there's nothing you can do. The game is just death spiraling, and you're like, yep, I think it's over. And it is. So there's Overlord decks are going to be well positioned in the meta, in my opinion. Lots of good matchups for them, and if you can pilot it, which it is very hard to pilot successfully for long periods of time, then you're gonna this is gonna be a good season for you.
Yep. Just to wrap up my kind of tournament rundown from BSF Philly, our team effectively went win round 1, lose rounds 2, 3, win out the rest, bubble out 13th.
Yeah.
Classic X2 kind of lineup.
Yeah.
Me personally is round 1, I fight a Quince Miku player who he really misplayed his finisher at the end. Because I had 2 and 8 and he decides not to mill with the Icy Tail. And then I block it, and then at that point you're just like, well, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then his remaining deck though is incredibly compressed, and he triggered Pants, and he blind stocked from the Pants support from that deck. So I'm like, I can single Xion after stock swap because I didn't really have that much left, or I can just send double Xion. If he blind stocked once off of the 2 blind stocks that happened in this turn and the 5 cards I got processed, or he drew it, that's also pretty fine. He didn't blind stock or draw anything, so gets blocked. And then he vanilla swings 3 times, but I too have climaxes left in my not as small, but 10 card ish deck. But I just, it was very rude. I blocked him on 1/1/1. I was like, oh,
Ugh.
okay,
Yeah, just lose.
bye bye.
Yeah.
And that was the closest game that I think I had won. The double loss game in round 4 was basically I drew out a good amount of climaxes early, so the game states just accelerated. So I'm just kind of getting to Miron, and I cash out the anti-change for a little more time, but that's still all of my hand. And it's kind of down to the wire. I send out Xion double Benny. He does, it's Persona 3. You blind stock a good amount. He does not blind stock any climaxes, and yet again I am blocked. I'm like, that's fair enough. It is what it is. And then we double lost after my team had already won. Shout outs to them. But he was so tilted off of the anti-change, the day going poorly. He knows his team is lost because he's been paying attention. I had not been paying attention. I'm playing for my life, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be rough. And then I like at the end, basically, I look to my right and left. I'm like, my team is gone. Somebody has already reported a win here.
Yeah.
And so we play it out, and he was about to side with Junpei, into my Benimaru after I had triggered out like the block I would have needed to live. Right? I only have 2 blocks left. He literally has Choice Climax, Protagonist, Swinger, Junpei on reverse, pay 1, ditch 1, burn 1. Like, if he fronts and reverses me and pays for the burn 1, he wins the game instantly. Because we played it out after time because we didn't double loss like incredibly close.
Right.
He was about to side it out of just like pure tilt. He's like, I can't beat that, man. You have Benimaru as Shun. I'm like, dude, your Junpei says like plus 3k on it or something. Like, I'm 12k. I'm 12k.
Yeah.
He's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, you win. Like,
just close the door. Yeah.
Like, but yeah, like it's like speaking to that mental aspect where like you gotta stay locked in. Like, you're in it until you're out of it. You know?
Yeah.
So,
don't despair too early. It's important to
don't despair too late.
Yeah. Well, keep your head about you during the game, and you'll find there can be windows to come back.
Yeah. To be fair, I also misplayed in round 3 versus Licorico player, where I did not plus 6 soul on the second attack. I was like, I think I just need to let this try to block, but if it took. Well, no. I was like, I think I'm just gonna try to let this blocker take. Either way, it actually gave him the side opportunity.
Right.
He did not side attack. And the funny thing is, if he had side attacked, like the blocks ended up being after I plus 6 sold his last attacker, I would have lived the side attack, which is smudge. But like.
Yeah, of course we never use the results to analyze our plays.
Correct. And it's weird because I believe it was like clean bottom deck and I was going for like a clock compression angle.
Right.
And also it's annoying to plus 6 soul into the new deck because you're effectively it negates like a lot of the benefit.
Yeah.
You're basically trying to block on 5 or 4.
Yeah.
Instead of,
2 or 1.
7, 8, 9, right? So you could argue that like it wasn't necessarily a misplay to plus 6 soul in that lane,
right?
But yeah, it definitely
put the game in unnecessary danger.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then every other game was effectively, all the other 3 games that I played and won were just like, wow, I love potions. Potions, so cool. Round 5. He almost got like this scam with just like some vanilla swings, but I just barely blocked it. I'm like, all right, good enough.
Yeah.
Or I'm just like, yeah. Like that round 6 into the Macross player, shoutouts to you, man. That was rough.
There's a few things more disheartening than setting up a deck state that should be winning and then taking random vanillas. Like that feels gross. I hate that.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what's more depressing? Imagine you're this poor Macross player and you can't get on the board ever again. You got your combo once.
Yep.
And like you can't get the reverse ever again.
Nope.
And then you get hit. It's like I get hit. I get like double blocks all the time. I get hit to like 2-5. Then what do?
Yeah.
I draw a card. I don't clock. I potions heal, helmet, potions heal, pants combo, swing 3 times. He's at 3-3. I'm at 2-3.
There's a lot of decks in the meta right now that if you can't get them to level 3, the game is going to take the darkest turn imaginable.
Exactly.
And Alice does it, Bang Dream does it, Slime does it, where it's just like heal. Okay, I'm back to full. And you're like, holy God, the game is just over. And it feels disgusting. Because Alice heals to hand, the Bang Dream healer, I think it's Mortis, heals to stock. Or I'm sorry, heals to stock for free. And then the potions is just like, well, if you draw pants combo, it's like, okay, well, I guess I get a free potions, and then I get another heal, and then I can just potion, and then I just combo, and I get most of the money back. And so it's like, okay, that's real bad. So accelerating the game at 2 is a really solid mechanical strategy in the game right now, if you can. So like Hololive playing the decompressor, Hololive playing the burn 1 who is it?
The Rene.
Yeah. Cards like that.
It's not even that, like, because, like, if you're a Hololive, it's not even that you can super accelerate the game. You can, but it's like, just like the always the benefit of the Marine deck in this format. I don't care what level 1 combo you play with it. Any one of them, maybe not shout out to Joker, maybe not Mume to Marine. And that's probably not winning. Like Callie, like Chloe, like whatever. Actually, you probably could play Mume. Honestly, screw it. It's good. It's like whatever. Nearly any one combo into Marine. And it's just like the benefit is that Marine is 4 stock.
Yeah.
So like every 2 stock afterwards is one more like devastating thing to do to your opponent. Where you're like, oh, am I Hololive at 10 stock for some reason? Great. Do you have 1 card in deck? Cool. Shuffle back 3 Clivaxes, stock swap, Red A, triple Marine, die now.
Yeah,
right? Like that's like the whirlwind slam of like what can happen to you when you're up against Hololive and they get to block.
Yeah, that god awful Botan mechanic is just so bad when like the stock swap can come in with it. It's just like, oh my good lord, at level 3 you just get exploded if they have a bunch of resources. It's like, okay,
and even if they don't have a bunch of resources, oh no, I only have triple finisher, guys.
Yeah, and so I think that it's difficult to create a meta where Hololive can't play. They have just a lot of good cards.
Yep.
But
but yeah, that was like that was BSF Philly.
Yeah, and
it's good to meet everybody. Good to see a bunch of people again.
I will be at
great times.
I will be going to Philly for the first time this year for BCS.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Philly.
drag this guy to Reading Terminal Market, just to really get into our like daily life part of the podcast. Dude, good old Reading Terminal Market, man. Nothing beats that. The cheese boats, the cheesesteak pretzel. That's like from Miller's Twist. The donuts.
Yeah,
so
I do want to accomplish like good
sandwiches.
I do want to accomplish good Philly cheesesteak, good roast pork while I'm there. If you have a recommendation, slide that in the comments for me. Like, I definitely want to. I want to, get some Philly food.
You're gonna have to make sure you check out that whole weekend so we have enough time to eat all the food we want to eat.
The thing is that I think we haven't scheduled the flights clearly. It's pretty far out still, but I need the Spirit Airlines to still be in business. So we'll see what happens.
Oh man.
To briefly talk about BSF Melbourne because it was the same weekend. We are seeing a very different deck distribution for BSF Melbourne. Even more Bang Dream, even more Nikkei, and then equal to Nikkei is Chainsaw Man. And then Buddha. So this reflects, I think, a general, like, I don't want to characterize all of Australia with one sentence.
Wow.
But I think
get a load of this guy.
I think
stereotyper.
Yeah, I think true. I think Australia definitely feels about the game the same way that Japan feels about the game. Is that if you can create these compressive healers like spam states, that's going to lead to a lot of wins. So all these decks are basically aiming to take the exact same approach to the game. Compress, heal down, control the game at 2, and then use some kind of decompressive style finisher or a bunch of defensive tools to try and win the game.
Right.
So I have no beef with that as a strategy. And like obviously there is other decks being played. All the decks that got in the top 3, they have some kind of other off meta deck that was part of their team. So Ayakashi Triangle, Ruby, Freeren, Azur Lane, like a Rico, like these all not Azur Lane, I'm sorry. 8 Pants, Nikkei, which is dramatically different than the other builds. So there is some diversity here, obviously, but I think they have a different idea about what's good in the game, and their share of Bang Dream was even larger than the US version. and I suspect it's likely to get worse because Bang Dream has the ability to punish those compressive states in a way that very few decks do. So yeah, I think going forward, and we're gonna head into the spike corner here in a second to talk about it, but the meta for upcoming BCS is gonna be pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Just to round out our actual news of things that have happened and things we happen to know about it. You get a plaque if you win a BCS. That was added to the website. Congratulations.
I keep all that stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure. I still got my trophy.
Hell yeah.
It's sick. GGO2 came out. I'm gonna try to have a deck. I've been playtesting it a bunch, honestly. Mainly because, yeah, slime is still slime, and I feel myself glazing over, like, whenever I'm playing it. Like, after, there was, like, a burst of playtesting, and I was like, okay, what do I want to play? Do I want to play door or standby? And then I was just like, okay, but when I get home from work, and I'm, like, literally getting back at whatever, like, 8 p.m. or whatever the hell, I'm just like, okay, but, like, I don't want to think too hard.
Yeah.
Let's play some GGO. Haha, for fun. Yippee.
Yeah. So GGO 2 is going to bring some power to a set that didn't. It had like a kind of a questionable power level in its first set, even during its release. What you get is a lot better level 1 game vis-a-vis the new bar combo, and then a fistful of other stuff that is of varying types of value, and it will
honestly that door finisher is pretty ignorant.
I think it's good. It's a fever finisher, but it's huge, and they have lots of ways to get huger. But it can be a lot of packets for sure.
I mean, it's on reverse burn 1, and then if they have an empty board and you set this up with all the stock, right? Even without combo, it still has fever. So it's like incredibly more expensive Marine, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's like the worst end of it, where you like, okay, well, you don't have a board, and like, because somehow I've misplayed, because you really shouldn't be able to have a board that the opponent can full crash into you as GGO if you're not playing standby. Like, if you're playing it straight bar door,
yeah,
your one combo goes down to 3k on defense.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing zeros to supplement. You're playing all the same old zeros.
Yeah.
Except for like the brainstormer and the helmet and the Rico, probably. You could play into the JC, just the slots are weird, and Fuka Zero is good. We love deck speed.
Yeah, they ended up not getting a really sufficient clock mechanism to replace the old Pitohui clock to stock mechanism that's on death.
Stock to clock, but it's on your two Bang Dream brain.
Oh, it's on play, but it has twin drive.
It does.
So
yeah, it's really sick, though.
It's a very good card. It's annoying that you'll have to try and acquire that.
If you don't already have that, you're cooked.
Yeah,
that card's like $40.
Yeah,
the clean cuts are like also annoying.
Very similar problem to what happens when Bang Dream gets random
However,
like meta buffs.
GGO is getting a reprint.
That's good. Yeah.
So that'll help.
Soon TM.
Yeah, it is.
So that's good. It does have some standby angles. It has some of the classic standby mechanisms that we all know and love. Like,
yeah, the problem is it doesn't have a like an early game standby. It retains the set 1 standby, which isn't really a combo. So if you're playing 8 standby, your early game is basically play 4 of the 1/1 that can't be reversed by cost zeros, buff it up with like a 2/1 assist that will just give it consistent power to be an 8k. Because it's a 6/5 cross turn, so if you buff it 1/5 cross turn, it's pretty funny. 8k is pretty funny. And then pray heavily.
Yeah, which is fine. I think that it is one of those decks that it's like Nikkei in that sense, where the standby before you can put level 2s on the board, standby does literally nothing.
Threes.
And before you can put level 3s on the board, it does almost nothing. So
yeah, pretty much.
It's pretty tough. But so maybe bar standby is like a winning angle. It does have bodyguard, free fresh, and a whole bunch of like really annoying level 3 mechanics that can spell like significant doom if your deck doesn't have any good answers for it, or badly needs the game to take a direction that they will not let you take. So for example, if you need reverses and they have this bodyguard thing on the board.
The bar combo though is like, it's the pad combo, but you can't really set it, as in it stocks from bottom of deck when it flips at 2 or higher.
Yeah, it's Modernia but worse, where the stock comes from the bottom of the deck, so you don't know what it is.
Yeah, it was good in pad because you could stack the bottom of your deck much easier.
Right.
In GGO2, there's only one card that will let you do that, and it's after seeing it on top and deciding that you want to put it on the bottom.
Yeah, they have some manipulation. It's just not as strong.
Yeah, and it's not as regular.
Yeah, so it is a little bit worse. Still, very good combo in my opinion. Has good synergy with a lot of the stuff that they want to try and do in the game.
Exactly, yeah.
So, it's fine. I don't subscribe to the fact that those combos should produce stock on a consistent basis anyway. It's kind of turbo busted if they do. So
yeah, that's why it was very good in pad.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like
it's
like a JP special now, where like their level 1 combos produce money and hand and everything. It's gross.
Yeah.
So
but I've been playtesting some of it. Bar standby, good old Nika at home, we love that. I feel like it's just worse because when you're playing into the standby top end, you are really reliant on a standby happening at 2, with not as much to facilitate it as you might like. And just having 8 standbys for that sort of thing is probably just better.
Yeah, I think if you try to play it as a standby deck, you probably will get that sort of feeling where you're like, if you're a true spike, then it's gonna be like, yeah, this is just Nikkei but worse.
If you play bar standby, it's just like worse Nikkei.
Yeah.
And then if you play an 8 standby, you can lean into like the chatting P-chan and just like flash your opponent with Bakuli at home and be like, yeah, dude, definitely play the climax. I don't have the event. I would never. And because it's an 8 standby list with like good cards at the top end to stand by in, damage scry hand, encore, on attack, pay 2, burn 3 with the combo. You have the assist that gives 2k to cards in front and optional memory kick. Great performance is a possibility, like all this kind of stuff, right? So like we could be ignorant.
Yeah.
You just gotta trigger standby.
Yeah, and so because they have reverse to memory, they can prevent some of the heal looping that Bang Dream and Nikkei can try to do, where they salvage, heal, get reverse, salvage, heal, get reverse, salvage, heal, that type of thing. So that's kind of cool. It's a very reasonable deck. It has strategies. I'm not sure that they align with the meta very well right now. So we'll see. Kind of looking a little bit in the future, we have Azur Lane 2 coming soon, October 17th. So that's gonna bring some old favorites, and by favorites I mean horrors, back to the meta. So
yeah, I mean you have options between effectively like play some like cats into something, or you can play the Enterprise, or you can play Unicorn. The Unicorn choice finisher is like mill and burn 1 for each soul trigger that you mill on attack, 3 if it's in the center slot, 2 if it's in the side slots. And the Enterprise is on attack, pay 2, ditch 1, trigger twice, for each blue or yellow character, burn 3.
Ow.
Yeah, I love the Enterprise, dude. 8 stock triple, hell yeah.
The only downside to playing that is you can't play the cat pairing very easily with that.
Yeah, but who cares? We have just like burn 3 6 times in 3 swings. Hella.
Yeah.
You'll just never trigger climax. Actually, the most on crack feeling that one of the most on crack feelings that you can have in this game, I'm like confident, is that if you're setting up this Enterprise finisher, your opponent tries to finish you first, and you were already out climaxes, you live after blocking with the remaining climaxes in your deck, finisher in hand, and you know for a rock solid fact that all 6 of these triggers are going to be clean. It's cinema. It's cinema, dude.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a way to conduct the deck that will work for that.
It's quite good, or quite funny. You still don't have stock swap, you have access to Fumio, and your finisher is pretty explosive. Your one combo is the same thing as the Manhattan Cafe from Uma Musume, where you search 2, your opponent effectively chooses 1 to go into your hand. So we love Fact or Fiction, nothing beats that. Because you're not Uma Musume broken, you don't also get to Marco something and then salvage something anyways, because that was definitely balanced. But instead, you have like the on reverse, pay 1, rest the standing character, discard to salvage 2 for like extra fixing. You have Twin Drive. You have a Brainstormer that says hand to stock, so that if you're like 1 off of that like 8 stock threshold for triple, or you want to play the Unicorn Brainstormer for like double Enterprise and then heal and burn 1 at the end, right? Like there's like a few different extensions, and it's a very solid deck.
Yeah, I don't think this Enterprise finisher is tripleable in any real world.
What? No, it triggers twice, Steve.
Yeah.
So after you pay for the first one, it pays for the rest of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes, it's an 8 stock triple.
8 stock and full grip, right? We got a 3 dudes, 3
8
dudes,
stock,
and
full grip.
3 dudes, 3 cards, and a climax.
Yep.
I guess it's possible. I can see
it's possible.
I can
double,
see double,
incredibly consistent.
Yeah, double is guaranteed.
Yeah.
They do get maybe one of the better Ricos that's ever been printed.
Yeah.
It's got, normally when they print this Rico style like hand fixing mechanic, they don't print like more text into the Rico. So this Rico has draw ditch built into it.
If you flip a high enough level
card. If you flip a 2,
yeah,
like that's crazy work. Like that's just a lot of hand fixing.
So
we get the good type. Yeah, we get the good type of climax swap, which is great. Tons of like powerful utility cards.
Oh, and you get Alice at Home.
Yeah,
she's 2 or less early play. Heal a stock, and you only get the power on turn, so you're an 8/5 defensively.
Yeah. It has the same, and then
it has the same top deck,
and it's got some kind of experience requirement, but I think that's pretty common in A's early nowadays. Players that have been playing it are pretty used to it. Mm-hmm. So that's still a thing. They also get their own version of the Chainsaw Man non-combo hand fixer, similar to the Himeno, where it's like power, and then if I reverse you,
I just said it, man.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
My apologies.
The pay 1, ditch 1, rest of standing character on reverse, salvage 2.
Yeah. So that's cool, I guess. I don't know that anything.
First, you factor fiction them, and then you discard the card you don't want and get 2 cards you want.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the ones that your opponent just discarded into the waiting room.
Yeah, exactly. So this deck looks like it's going to be poised to be doing some stuff in the meta for sure, especially in combination with the stuff they already have. So that's good. It's also good that this yellow-blue shell cannot run cats easily. Not that they can't do it. Yeah,
you would just want to hurt yourself.
You would want
to go to Minecraft and just like jump in lava.
Yeah, if your finisher fails because you revealed a green card, that's on you.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. You already fail on climaxes. Just don't make it worse. You already fail on all of your climaxes in the deck. And the actual problem with the Enterprise is that it kind of punishes being a good player.
Yeah.
Because the more you compress and you set up for your finisher, the more climaxes there will be to int your finisher.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So but that's why it's like Yeah, that's why it feels like crack if you like
Just
live
block.
your opponent's
Yeah, just
finisher.
block.
With all of the climaxes perfectly
Yeah.
so that you will still be level 3, and then you just look at your empty deck knowing that your opponent is going to hell.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just like bye.
Yeah.
See you later. All right.
So that's good. That'll be good for the meta. And speaking of the meta,
It kind of sucks.
yeah, so
We've always been in the spy corner, but this is our segment for today. Let's talk about our dog brain Bang Dream meta, where we have Bang Dream, probably somehow the worst feeling tier 0-1 deck that there has been in a while, where it feels like you do just about everything right, and then you hit to 3, and then you feel double Dolores Anon, and then they take the damage in just the right way, and then you lose on the spot.
yeah.
You don't have soul triggers in the Dolores deck.
I'm
as
less
well.
I'm less depressed about the Bang Dream finisher than I am about the game states where I'm level 0, everything goes great. I'm level 1, everything goes great. I compress, everything goes great. I hit 2, I drop some healers, everything's great. I have like 9 stock. I go to 3 for no reason because I take 6 damage for some reason. I lose the game instantly because my opponent's 2-1. And then I'm like, what did I do to allow this to happen to me?
Yeah.
And the answer is nothing. You didn't do anything. It's just life's hard. And it's the same way.
It hits more in this deck, I feel like, because it's not like CSM didn't do the same thing, but they had Aki, and Aki was like a scam finisher, and they could like just hit you with it and probably live through you anyways through like, you know, it just like this compression that they held on to, and you know they have hand encore for Aki. They just try again, and then like Gura, at least you can cope. That like if they're at 2-2, 2-3, like just send it. You know, maybe they'll die. Right? But
I mean,
when you get to hit to 3 early as Bang Dream, like unless you get the sickest Tamori setup, like with the pants finisher.
Yeah.
Unless you get the sickest Tamori setup ever, your reach is not amazing, dude.
Yeah, and you get that same feeling anytime you're playing the game correctly and you're compressed out, but like this deck more than most, because of like uncertain finishing, is really dependent on like the game needs to take a pace at 2, and that's kind of the meta right now actually, is that there's a lot of decks that need the game to pace correctly at 2, and if it doesn't, then the game death spirals really powerfully. The thing is that Nikkei can always clutch to their tap counter and extend the game if they go to 3. So if they go to 3 too quickly, there's a way in which they can keep the game stable. But if you're playing Bang Dream, you probably don't have any way to keep the game stable if you get rushed too quickly to 3, and you don't have the finishing to pull yourself out of it. The other thing is, this meta just feels insanely stale. We haven't had a release that has managed to stick to the meta for a bit, and we're restricting or banning a lot of powerful cards that are keeping the meta stale. They took SDS out back and finally shot it. Like they crippled it a little bit, a couple different ways, and now they're like, we're tired of you existing, die. So that deck's dead. Mai is got the Aki treatment, and it's questionable whether Mai is even better than Aki at this point, because Aki's shell is so much more consistent and powerful than Mai's shell. The only thing that's good about Mai's shell is it has the ability to actually reverse cards, whereas Aki's shell just kind of like doesn't do anything except Omega compress
until
and
2.
block.
Yeah.
Until,
like once you're at 2, you can get back on the board, but still.
Yeah, and as long as you're not against Nikkei's 2 board or like, you know,
or slime.
Yeah, or a 2 board that laughs at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you didn't get the support, and it's like really questionable whether you can reverse anything.
Right.
But you do get Omega Compression, which, as long as you're not facing Bang Dream, is going to be great because you'll just block everything and laugh. So that's cool. But it speaks to the meta's staleness when we're talking about decks from like literally 2 years ago as decks that are part of the top meta. It's like we're not releasing anything that's even cracking the meta. It's like we're releasing a bunch of B tier decks, and the other.
I mean, we have, right?
Yeah.
How many? We've released. Let's see. Bang Dream, top of meta. Albuda, top of meta.
Sort of. Not. I mean, maybe not now, but was for like 5 seconds.
And before that, there was Nikkei. Well, no, Nikkei was last year. Sorry. What was I even thinking of? I mean, so Nikkei came after Chainsaw Man, right?
Yes, well after.
Yeah. So yeah, it would have been Nikkei before.
Yeah.
Albuda, right?
So
like every half
year. So
year.
if you look at the release schedule, from the previous parts of this year, okay?
Yeah.
So if we talk about our current release schedule, we have so Ave Musica came out in July, right? So we have GGO, right?
Yeah.
Which is B tier in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then prior to Ave Musica, we have Sakai, which does nothing.
Nope. Yep.
We have Lycoris, which is top meta.
Yeah.
We have Kenshin,
would
which
think
is
so.
a B tier deck.
Sure.
We have Albuda, which is already restricted and probably an A tier deck.
Still, yeah.
P3, which is a B tier deck.
Yep.
Blue Archive, which is a B tier deck.
Sure.
And then Quintessential Quintuplets Premium Booster, which is a bunch of B tier decks. And
in an A tier deck that got restricted.
That's what I mean, is that like it's already been restricted though.
Yeah.
And so then you have Macross Delta, a B tier deck.
Sure.
Freerin, a B tier deck.
Sure.
Dengeki Bunko, a B tier deck.
Sure.
JoJo's, a C tier deck. Oshi, a B tier deck.
I'd put a JoJo's listed B tier somewhere.
Sure. And then Ayakashi Triangle, a B tier deck. So for a year, we've gotten 100 B tier decks. The only S tier decks got restricted, except for Ave Musica and Nikkei. Everything else is just eh. And the worst part is Nikkei's greatest strength in the meta right now is strangling the life out of a B tier deck.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
if you try to play a B tier meta deck against Nikkei, you will get body slammed. Like, it's so awful. Your reasonableness will just, it's like getting hit by a freight train whenever the Alice stuff starts happening. You're just like, wait.
Get reversed, top deck, take damage.
How do you play P3 into that?
Heal. I mean, you get bigger with the assist.
Like, you need to be on the board first.
Correct.
And, like, hope that it works. Because if Alice gets over you on the cross, the game ends. Like, the whole game, your finisher and your early play just got lost forever. And that's it.
I mean, you need the assist on board.
And
right?
But it's like if they have their assist on board, now it's like you need counters badly.
Yeah, true.
And it's like you can sculpt them. It's possible, but you need the right waiting room setup to do it.
And then the way that, and it's like the way that it pluses is that you don't bounce. But if you bounce, then you just put the Alice right back in their hand.
Yeah.
So that if they block you again, they just heal again.
Yeah. It's like, it's hopeless. Like, that matchup feels hopeless.
I don't know about hopeless.
It's such a struggle to try and win. It's like you're doing everything you can to try and stay in the game. But it's just like,
I can give you that.
They have so many good, like if they get Ludmilla bouncer support, GG, well played.
Yeah, I mean, Nikkei also has a bouncer. True.
That's what I mean, is they're just like, whatever. And it's free. It's like, see ya.
Pay one, send itself to stock, send bottom stock out.
Yeah.
Oh, funnier angle is that if they're like pretty good and they can just like see the board state coming and they trigger standby at 1, they're like, oh, I see this bouncer might be useful. Now, I get this bouncer, I bounce your guy, and I get +1 stock.
Yeah, and they just smart eye you with it. It's just like, okay, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to keep the game going, and the answer is you don't. So it's just, there's a lot of decks that are like have reasonable game plans that like, you can't play reasonably against some of these decks. They just won't let you. And Nikkei in particular will not let you play reasonably. Like they will just pummel you with vanillas that have outsized chance of hitting, and just the board presence that they can generate it to is just insanely oppressive.
I mean, like a good standby list right now feels okay, no?
It's okay. You're
like just getting and sitting on the board.
Like, you need to be humongous in order to...
So, like, the funny thing is, Nino isn't even dead. Like, they just pivoted to just big board.
Yeah, what's dead about it? It's not dead. It's just it's definitely stepped down a couple tiers.
It stepped down. Yeah.
Because the biggest problem is their zero consistency has taken a huge hit, and
their trigger consistency is also like hit.
And they have very weak deck control. Like,
but then if they get onto the board at 2, you're just sitting there looking at their board of like 14Ks or whatever, and you're like, huh.
Yeah, for sure. And a standby thing, it's more important for whoever is on the board to keep the grip as tight as possible, because if it slips away from you, you won't get it back. And so you need to have the right tools available. The other thing is that fucking Nikkei gets level 1 anti-change. So if you fuck around, you will find out, and like they can slap you with that, and then now you've lost the board again.
Yeah, if they play it.
Yeah, and
50-50 if they play it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to have it, and then the game state has to support it, but the availability of it means that you have to
in set. Like, people don't even run it in the deck.
Well, some do.
Some do, though. Yeah.
And I think that once we see a few like BCS winning or topping Nikkei lists that are running it, they'll all have it.
I don't think the apple turning guide has it.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
it
does.
Okay. Never mind. I must have been thinking about something else then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, he's running it. It's
Easy.
because there's no downside.
True.
You just ambush
I was thinking about a different card from that
it's
list. Never mind.
The yellow one, yeah. You just ambush them with it. Where it's like, okay, well, I was doing okay, and now the board is completely lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
yeah, it's pretty cringe.
It's cringe. And the other thing is...
It's like you have a deck that gobbles up tier 2 decks and below.
Yeah.
And you have a deck that's like... And you have multiple decks that are just like giga compression, and then you're just sad. And then if you try to play a stock compressing thing, you risk getting buns for luck for your entire life and livelihood. Yeah, and you're not even safe from tier 3 because, you know, the 3 people that got Kaguya in ban are just gonna play that one too.
Well, and the thing is that like there's also like the Omega compressors, they only really fear Bang Dream. And so like you can certainly get the right tournament setup where you could get through the Swiss without dealing with Bang Dream. I don't think that you can get through an entire event without dealing with Bang Dream. There's too many players. But like whatever, Tokyo Revengers or Overlord, or like there's tons of other decks that are gonna have very small populations that will be able to like be very sharp in the meta, because if they get the right matchups and they never get punished, then yeah, they'll just explode on you. I don't think again, Overlord is one of those decks that's like well positioned in the meta but can't be bandwagon because it's too difficult to pilot, and it's requires a lot of like more work than most Weiss players will put into the game. But I
mean, there's enough players. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a really just gross meta, because I at first I thought that there would be some dark horse potential, but the more I think about it, it's
we both thought so.
Yeah, and the more I see it, the more I'm just like, or playing some tier 2 decks against Nikkei. Like I've tried playing some Freerin and Kaguya and Atla against Nikkei. It feels awful, bro. Like you can't do anything. And so as long as that the oldness feeling, like there was a window of time where early plays had requirements. Like you needed the game to be in a certain state where you could get your requirement fulfilled. They didn't just happen. Like you had a full board and then they happened. That wasn't a thing for like a decade of Weiss Schwarz. So when you go back and you try to play some two or fewer early play healer, and then you block twice or like 3 times off your new deck, and now you can't do anything, the game's over, like you're never going to be able to contest the board again. It's like, holy crap, dude. Like the random circumstances of old decks that could just fuck you is too difficult to handle versus these type of decks that are just like, no, it just works. And you're like, well, okay, but my thing doesn't work. It's like, well, that's because your thing isn't as good. So you have to make peace with that. It's like hypothetically, right? If you're playing Kaguya, you can get the president on board and you can patrol them with it, right? It's great. Like the very slightest wrong thing happens and now you can't get it. And it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter that you're running that, and it doesn't matter that it's good. You can't play it, and playing it at 3 doesn't help. And so it's just like, I guess I lose. And so
and yeah, it's like even in that GGO 2 set they were talking about, it's like the most hilarious thing is it's like you have a stock healer that's it's fine, but the early play condition is the Ricky in your clock. So like most of the time you're clocking to heal, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's more like drawing 2 cards for free and less like healing.
Yeah, and then you're just like, okay, and then the other healers in the set are all 2 or less.
Yep.
And it's either the one that you can
with the buddy
the buddy that you can bond to, but now you're paying 3 stock at 2 or less conditions to heal.
Yep.
Unironically, the best healer in the set probably is the promo that we're about to get from the Meister Cup.
Yeah.
It is a 10k base 2 or less healer.
The actual best healer in the set is the free fresher.
Yeah. No, that's the sick angle, right?
Yeah.
Because you free fresh
and then search.
Now you have 2 or less, and now you play your 2 or less healer.
Yep.
And she powers the board. Now you have like a bunch of like 11, 12Ks with climax.
Yeah, the free fresher searches on free fresh, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So like
5 or less free fresh and search.
That card's amazing.
It's great.
It's unfortunate that it also happens to be blue.
Like even in the
oh god, the color configuration, bro.
It honestly has not felt bad.
Okay. Yeah, because the Ricky's blue, right?
Because the Ricky's blue, and you don't need it until you don't. When you're playing the bar combo, it's not like you're going to actively set up 5 or less that often.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not as necessary. Like it's not like you're going to do it every game, and it's 2 stock still.
Yeah.
So like in many game saves you won't get to it. But then when you have the game state,
yeah,
you're just on crack.
It's actually the deck 2 game state always.
Yeah.
It's like if you get fast refresh in deck 1, then you're like, you start to see the angle for it where you're like, okay.
Yeah,
the game's gonna support this.
Yeah, once you see it start to happen, you're just like, I'm him.
Yeah.
I'm that individual.
Yeah.
It's too sick.
Yeah. So for me, I'm expecting absent any change. Oh, the other thing that's kind of cringe about our meta desert that we're walking into is after this October Azur Lane release, there is nothing in the pipeline for November or December.
That's new.
Nothing. There's a Konosuba reprint. That's it. Our next new set is Dandadan at the end of January. The season is almost over by the end of January. So, absent like an Eminence and Shadow release mid-season,
I mean,
like if they announce it for November or December, it would be cringe. But like
it would be, but also like when else are they going to release it? They announced it for this year.
Yeah. So, we'll probably get an announcement for an Eminence and Shadow release, but that's it, bro. This is the meta. This is the meta for 2/3 of the season. And you're going to get a rush of releases right at the end of the season that are going to be disruptive. It's like Dandadan, Fairy Tail, and Girls Band Cry and Makiine are all going to like cram themselves in at the end of the season.
As like joining the group of like A B tier decks. Yeah.
A bunch of A tier decks. Not S tier. And
then
assuming
Oshinoko too.
Yeah, assuming no restricts.
True.
Now Bushiroad can come in, and like if Bang Dream wins every BCS for the first half of the season, I promise it will get restricted. But I just don't see that happening because there are matchups that are not good. And there are matchups that where your deck will just like, I don't know, decks brick. They just do. So, and the mirror is a crazy coin flip. Like, the mirror is awful. Because
you know, I thought that the slime mirror might have been bad, but like
the
game
mirror
ends at some point.
Yeah.
Like the Bang Dream mirror can just be you might actually do double loss with Bang Dream mirrors more than soul down decks in this format, I feel like.
Because the thing is you'll start making the most psycho plays imaginable to try and keep from getting stock swapped. So you'll do some shit like play a healer, play over it, pay 3, and then you're just like, what the f***'s happening? Or like step on a guy, mill 4, brainstorm hit, get the healer back, re-heal, helmet, re-heal. It's just like you're just doing the dumbest shit imaginable to keep your stock and HP as low as you can. And then the winner is just the person who gets the luckiest, where it's like, oh, I landed a 4 HP odd chunk and now you're 3 for no reason. It's like, GG, well played, bro. The game's over for you. It's like, you're gonna hit me to 3 and now I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, all right, well, great. Or if you don't hit me for 3 and you try to compress down, I'll bunch for luck you and then kill you. And it's just like,
yeah. And then the funniest outcome after that is like they hit you to 3, you hit them to 3, and then they don't kill you because Dolores sometimes hates you.
Yeah. Or it's like land a vanilla 4 and you're just like, bang, you're okay. Now I lose because I don't have enough packets. It's like
the
didn't
worst.
Get canceled.
no, the funniest worst outcome at that point is just like, you know, you hit them to 3, you can press down to some amount. They don't have buns because you have to draw it, and most of these people don't play like the Jizato level swap mechanic, and they only run one copy of buns. So if they don't draw it, then they don't have it, and then they hit you with Dolores, Anon. First Dolores for 3, sticks, you're 3/3. Second Dolores for 3, block. Anon, swing. You try to check with the brainstorm effect. It burns 1 anyway. They take the 1, 3, block 3, you lose.
Yeah, it's like now I don't need that many blocks to win if like 1 Dolores hits. And then it's just like, okay.
Exactly. Yep. So it's just some of the most cancerous mirror crap ever.
Yeah,
like,
the Nikke mirror is equally awful. Like, the mirrors in this set or in this meta are just awful, bro. Whoever gets on the board first as Nikke is going to just choke the life out of the other player. Where it's just like, I got Sin and I got the 2/2 and you didn't? Cool. You can't play the game anymore. The game is now over for you. You need to hope to God things go right. You need to block everything. Like, you're in hope mode where I'm going to start top decking everything that you play against me. It's like, your Alice's gone. My Alice's here forever. Never clocking again. Do you think you're going to get to play the tap counter? Don't think so. Only I can play the tap counter. It's like, holy fuck, dude. How do I win? And it's like, your hand is just bleeding out. You're just trying desperately to make the game accelerate in some way. And it's just like, oh man, I've watched some gross Nikke mirrors. Or it's like, oh, I'm getting onto the board, cool, bounce, you're off the board again. And it's just like, oh my god, dude, just awful stuff. So not to depress the competitive player base headed into the meta of this season, but man, it don't look great. Like, it looks stale and cringe. Like, I don't have any other competitive decks to play besides Bang Dream, so like I'm gonna have to play Bang Dream. But yeah, I think there's some soul searching that needs to be done by the meta to figure out if there's any way for it to actually progress. Because I don't know that there is. It's very hard right now to find something that we don't know about that isn't at the top of the meta that has average matchups. I think Lycoris is the deck that has the most average matchups, where it's like that deck / finisher engine can be played into most stuff and do okay. And then they have the chaos wheel that is their door brainstorm mechanic, where it's like, I triggered a door, so you have to mill 4 cards. And like, the more players lean into that, the more I hate Weiss Schwarz. Like, it's just, that mechanic is just uncontrolled psychopathic milling. And it's like, whether it will help or hurt you is unknown, but it's required. So I guess you could justify it by saying that it will always lean your opponent closer to refresh points, so it's always better to have it. But man, I I detest that mechanic from like just the way I like games to be. It just feels like there's no control. It's just pure chaos energy being added to the game. But the rest of that deck is super duper solid. I think it does a great job killing you from a variety of game states because of the way the packets lay. So yeah, I think Light Chorus is a great choice for the meta. But in terms of like A tier decks or B tier decks that can try and get into the meta, you're gonna need to be able to get on the board and remove characters at 2. If you have anti-heal, man, anti-heal feels great right now. I don't think anybody has it that's like particularly strong enough to participate in the meta, but if they did, that'd be great. I think Overlord's great in the meta. All board-based decks hate Overlord. Small damage packets like make it easier to win the game later, and Bang Dream can't really do anything to punish you in any meaningful way. So that, I think that's a great choice. But overall, yeah, a very, very challenging meta we're headed into. So, yeah, I don't expect the price of Mochas to go down anytime soon. So I guess we'll be seeing a lot more Aquas. But yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna be tough out there, boys. But we're doing it. We're trying to go to Worlds. We have no choice.
Yep. That's the vibe. Yeah. I pretty tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like I like almost want to like not go so hard like right now in an effort to like not drain out and burn out
Yeah, I think
effectively.
Yeah, so the last BCS event I believe is in March.
Yeah.
So
Like there's time.
So our competitive season is gonna last 6 months.
Yeah.
And if you're me and possibly Ben, then you're gonna be at all the American
US tournaments.
Yes.
So that's 5.
Right. So that's
We have
basically
5
one.
tournaments.
It's basically one a month, roughly.
Except for February.
Right.
It's literally one a month except for February.
So yeah, I don't think you have to grind so hard.
Yeah.
You're gonna have so much more time to like prepare for every event. It's not like the events are standing on top of each other, and it's not like two events a month or.
What I will say is that the time between Chicago and Houston will be much better for me.
Yeah.
And you, if you went to Philly, like if you did what I did, and I know enough people who did, that if you did what I did and you went Duluth, Philly, Rosemont, you are so fucking cooked right now.
Yeah.
You're just like
tired.
Yeah, it's or you're a healthy human being, but like
tired, broke, some combination of the two.
Yeah, like probably like travel fatigue to some degree. Like your finances cannot look good from spending money on food. Like
well,
like going out.
Yeah, another plane, another hotel,
plane, another room.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's woof.
But yeah, I'm guessing some people like I don't know. I was lighter. I didn't travel at all during the Summerfest season this year, so I'm feeling pretty refreshed for competitive play. But it is a marathon, so it's important to like. If you start to feel bad, man, just you can take a little break. Like you're gonna have 5 or 6 weeks between most events, so like you can relax a little bit at points. Like, and it's gonna be important that like you don't just go absolutely crazy, because if you try to grind for 6 straight months, man, you won't make it. So yeah, you're gonna have to pace yourself during this process, but we're gonna learn more and more as events get completed, and I think as events get completed, the meta has a chance to get possibly worse as people start to see results, and then they'll start to bandwagon those results. So I think it's very possible that if you get in early in the meta and you can secure your invite, you can save yourself from what may be an even worse situation further into the season, especially if the meta stays exactly as it is. So we'll see. But again, I have weak expectations for restricting. Like Sure, you could, but what is it that you want to restrict and how? Because
I mean, you already let Overlord live.
Well, so
right?
it's next. It's always next man up.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, if you restrict Bang Dream, it's like, now what, man? Like, there's already very few S tier decks. Now what? Now it's 2 S tier decks? Like, Nikke, Lycoris, that's it?
Yeah, and it's hard to. I feel like it's hard to argue Lycoris as S tier.
Yeah,
like
or maybe just like
A-tier.
Yeah, and Nikke is only S tier on the very top end of it, like the best players of it. I think average, it's not that good. I think Bang Dream's S tier is much better on average because it doesn't take nearly as much. The player skill requirement for Bang Dream is much lower. It just has a lot more. It's got a phenomenal deck speed and tons of work.
And like I think Beanwolf's like write up on Nikke makes a salient point that like there's been some like poisoning of the well in that people look at Nikke and they don't see a good finisher and they're like, well, this doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And like you were saying earlier, it's like it doesn't technically do anything on the top end as much. You just win the whole game otherwise. Like,
yeah,
it's the Alice train.
Your win condition is actually just slowly choking them to death. And
it's pretty good at slowly choking anything to death.
As long as they can arrive into the end game with an HP lead, hard to beat. Really hard to beat. If you hit 3 first against Nikke, really hard for you to win. Really, really hard. Because they just won't take damage in the late game. They will tap counter you into oblivion. And very few decks can generate enough answers to prevent them from playing it at all. It is likely they will get to play it. And so you basically have 2 lanes to kill them in. And if you don't kill them, then their vanillas will become your demise. Like, top decking your cards, when a 1 is a 2, the amount of times you will take 2 unreasonably is so much higher. It's just, you're increasing your chances of landing vanillas by such an incredible number whenever by just putting vanilla cards on the top and hitting. And not to mention, like, hitting 3s. Their ability to, like, make the game accelerate at 2 in a way that you do not want to happen is really problematic. Because even if your compression's good, by putting cards on top of your deck, they're just really, really mathematically increasing the chances that you're just going to eat. It doesn't take very many odd chunks for you to eat. And so it's tough. And so they need the game to go well at 2. If they cannot make the game go well at 2, it's over. If they hit 3 first, it's kind of over. Because they just do not have the same kind of pull. They can't pull the game as strongly as most decks can. They can push back against your deck, but they can't pull you along as easily as other decks can. So you'll get that feeling, that sinking feeling. It's very similar to the sinking feeling you get against other decks that are good at 2. It's like, okay, well, they're blocking and they're blocking and they're hitting and they're hitting and I'm losing and I'm losing and it's over. So yeah, it's tough.
Yep, pretty much. But yeah, that's the meta. That's our BCS look ahead. Kind of depressing, but you know, I'm addicted to this card game. Suppose it is what it is.
We gotta keep it real. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just not. We can't really think about WGP because they said that they might schedule the finals the week before BCS Houston, or they might schedule it on the weekend of BCS Houston for this tournament that is had people already qualifying for it and is 2 months away, and you don't know when the tournament is. Maybe by some miracle I can go to the website right now and there will be a date.
I can't take WGP seriously because of Heart of the Cards.
Tentatively. Nope, might be 1 week later.
Yeah, I just can't take them seriously. The JP meta is already so bad, but bad JP meta on top of Heart of the Cards really just not knowing how to organize tournament play is absolutely disgusting. I will not be participating in WGP this year. I did WGP last year and it sucked, and the meta is getting worse by the second. So yeah, I'm good. Good luck to anybody who wants to get memory compressed on. that ain't me. I'm not him.
Oh man.
I am looking forward to Fairy Tale though. That'll be
your next set.
That'll be an A tier deck that I'm really interested in. It does a little bit of memory compression itself, and I love anti-burn finishers, dude. Anti-burn finishers, top tier.
Yeah. You can't play Cost Me right now.
I burn you and you can't burn me.
Yep.
That's the best way to have a finisher. I burn you and you can't burn me.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's the finisher for Fairy Tale, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, I can play a card that burns both players, killing us both instantly. We love that.
Yeah, we love that. Oh man. All right. Well, that's all for us today. So, tune in next time after your next deck. Oh, but actually it's not. Hold on. We talked about OSK.
It doesn't even have a release date, bro.
It doesn't have a release date, but we did get an ambitious deck commission for it from Ryan. And after seeing some gameplay of it and playing it some amount, it's not even it's just not, there's not an ambitious deck to be made here for Kana Akane. That's just correct.
It's just a good deck. It's just a good deck.
Like, many times on ambitious deck building, we will, we'll make some deck that's like not exactly good,
reasonable.
But we'll try to make it reasonable, optimize it as much as we really feel like we can, that sort of thing,
But we're reaching. That's what makes for an ambitious deck. It's the reach.
It's ambitious,
yeah.
Right? It's ambitious deck building. This is just a good deck, man.
Yeah, this is just deck building.
I don't have that much to say for you. Besides, you could pretty much net deck a JP list. You probably don't need to run the JC because you're not playing into Gakumas meta. So like denying reverse is not as important. Like you can take that slot, make it something else to make the engine run smoothly. But like your Maguro sets up the bounce back on your Mill 5 Brainstormer. Your finisher is burn 1 heal for each level 0 that's at the bottom of your opponent's deck. Like,
yeah, that finisher's insane.
I don't know how much. There's not much more that you need. You have Komi on a 2-1 on play check 4 for a climax, any climax that if it's in the center slot will swing at like a 13-5. You don't even have to think about the board. Your healer bounces back whenever you reverse an opponent on either turn.
Yeah.
On either turn. So if they crash into your early play healer, you can bounce it back on their turn too. You don't even have to bounce it back on their reverse.
Yeah. There's going to be some matchups where that card doesn't work super great. But
for sure. Alice, namely. But
speaking of. But yeah. Unfortunately or fortunately, however you prefer to think of it, if you're an OSK fan, it seems fortunate. Yeah, it's not it.
That's what's gonna be high.
It's not gonna be an ambitious deck build. It's gonna be the meta.
Yeah,
like
that's gonna
be the meta deck build. The ambitious deck build will be the choice deck.
yeah. Like that's gonna enter in at honestly probably like tier 0/1. Like depends on how you feel about it.
Depending on what else is around it, yeah.
But like
that's the type of finisher that will end your whole life.
Yeah, like if you field honest, yeah, I would put it in tier 0. If you put that in English right now, that'll win a tournament.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Who needs stock swap? Hear me out. Let me just poke you to death.
The thing is that it doesn't have to be greater than everything to reach tier 0. Like if you if you think about a deck and you're trying to figure out what tier it belongs in, you need to think about, like, the most important question is, like, how unfair is the thing that it's doing? And if your finisher does very small repeated packets, your opponent cannot live at 3. It's not possible to survive burn 1 3 times at 3. in multiple sets. Like, it's like Escanor, bro. Like, you aren't gonna live. You're going to die. And so
they're just gonna, it's either all the bird ones are gonna stick and you lose, or they're gonna poke away all of your cancels and stick the vanilla, and then you lose immediately afterwards.
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating to face stuff like that. And the nature of the meta of Weiss Schwarz makes those finishers stronger than they would have been in the past, because decks are more and more and more and more and more becoming zeros. And it is natural as the game progresses for you to hold high level cards, because obviously you want to try and drop your own finishers, and so you're saturating the deck even more with low level cards. So it's very hard to survive something like that, where it's milling from the bottom and it's dealing very, very small packets, and it's triggering off of anything that's a level 0, which is already probably 2/3 of your deck or more. That's tough.
So Ryan, I'm gonna hold. If you wanted to play something right now, you could play something from JP and it would be fine. It would be winning. It would be sick. Whenever it finally does drop, that would be an important point of considering what the deck looks like.
Yeah.
Like, how much do these 2/1s that get power on other attacks matter, and they refund the stock? How much does JC matter? Is there reverse things in? Like, is Eminence and Shadow just gonna reprint Gaku Mass, and then on reverse denial is like the biggest thing in the universe, right? Like, that's sort of like those kinds of decisions we can hold. We can let the set come out.
We need to see what the meta looks like once the set is released. But as a general rule, that sort of deck will be probably the primary way that the set's constructed.
Yeah. You can still play a choice.
I agree.
It just has its own like kind of inbuilt shakiness to it, right?
Yeah, it's
triple climaxes,
triple climax, and heavy compression into the meta.
None of the climaxes add climaxes to your hand.
Correct.
So if you just don't draw the climax, you're also sad.
Yeah.
Your deck milling early game is like
okay, not great.
Fuka Zero, Brainstorm Cigarettes, right? Okay, not great. Maguro and Mill 5 Brainstorm and Fuka Zero, obviously a little bit better. Yeah. Like, you're gonna get to the end of your deck 1 on your Maguro turn with Kana.
Probably. Yeah.
And if you don't, it's gonna be because you left one more card at the end because it was level 2, so you can bounce your Kana into your hand from the Brainstormer effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like there for sure. You're basically playing with an 8-card hand half the time.
Yeah. So it's not I mean, yeah, it's not ambitious. It's sick.
It's just great.
You're gonna have a great if you already have like some deal with your shop, whoever, and you're gonna get that set, and you have set 1, so that you have all the relevant set 1 cards. You're set, my man. Like, you played that and you practice it whenever it comes out, and there's at least 2 BCSs left to play. You can win. I can see OSK2 winning for sure. Very reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and that will be our show for today. So tune in next time after your next deck out, and don't you forget, take the refresh point.